Welcome back to that Thursday night thing. We are in the house. I'm Mr. U. Herb's in the house. Ben Parker is joining us for Sports and Money podcast. Shane is on the way. I believe Rod is hanging out in the comment section doing some things mobily to help support us out there. So how's it going tonight, gentlemen?
Doing good. Thank you.
Yes.
Hello.
My heart is recovered. So I'm good. I'm good again.
Your heart recovered. I want to talk about that in a little tiny bit here, but all right, well, if you guys don't know, Sports and Money comes on every Tuesday night around 8 Eastern Standard. So Ben want to come in and support us, show us some love, and bring his vast football knowledge to the table. We're going to have fun with this, and you'll see Shane popping on probably at some point in the interim. But before we get started, Herb, we'll go ahead and crank it off with you, man. I want to get your reactions to the big game. I know we were getting geared up for the entire week, and here we are, man. You guys did what some people said was going to be impossible, but you knocked it out anyway. What are your reactions from the Georgia-Bama game? Thoughts about Milroe? I know there's some current concerns about him out there, but how you feel about what you saw, what you like, what you didn't like?
I'm happy to get the win. You know, there was the least relaxing 30-0 start I've ever seen. You know, it's kind of like we were talking off on air. You know, you get a good team down, and then it's just even scarier because, okay, everything's out the window. We're throwing whatever pass we want. We're going for it on every fourth. Their fourth down percentage was better than the third down percentage. You know, that's the crazy way to make a comeback. You know, I love what I saw from the offense. I loved our fight. I love the way we got back, you know, in it, got the lead back after we lost it. And, man, it just makes you think for both teams, still top 5 teams both ways, and I could see us meeting them again. But I think it was great for college football, too, because I think one of the things people thought was the 12-team playoff. Would you lose some intensity in some of those regular season matchups? And I think we proved on Saturday night, no, it was all there and it was on display. So.
Okay. No, I like that, man. So, missed a question about Georgia overall. Because you watched the whole thing. I'm sure you analyzed it as much as anybody else probably would have done, just a Roll Tide fan. Do you see that Georgia just limited in some way, or was this like a hiccup and they could have played you better with the personnel they had? Do you feel like this is who they are and this is going to be what you're going to see when they play tougher competition? Or is this something that is probably just not quite what should have happened, or not as far as the outcome, but as far as the way they played throughout the game? Did that question make sense?
Yeah. So one thing from Georgia is the defense is still carries the day. And so we're kind of in a unique situation where we have a dual threat quarterback and, you know, a star wide receiver. And I think that's one of the things. And people always say this, Georgia doesn't do well against dual threat quarterbacks. They say the same thing about Alabama. There's not a lot of teams that do well against dual threat quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Especially ones as big and fast as Milroe that can throw the deep ball. So I think that's where we hurt them. The thing that has always been concerning for Georgia this whole year, and this is even coming from them, their offense has started really, really slow every single game this year so far. So they are still, you lose your best target in a Brock Bowers. They're still trying to find themselves on offense. So you kind of see the pathway to a victory to them is you got to punch them in the mouth first. You know, if you don't get up on them early, kind of like the Kentucky game, their offense never really got going, but Kentucky's offense can never get anything. You've got to have a dynamic offense, and you have to strike first on Georgia, and then sometimes hold on for dear life. But their offense is still, if they get it figured out by the end of the year, they're going to be dangerous. But that's where they're kind of right now.
Okay, no, that makes sense. I like that. I'm watching more Alabama games than usual. I watch them because you guys are on the show, so I want to definitely try to keep up with you guys and not sound like a total fool when you guys are talking about Alabama. So I try to watch the games to see what's going on, but I'm watching it especially because your boy Milroe is being mocked to the Giants like everywhere I look. And I'm like, okay, we don't know where we're going to end up at because we're not doing as bad as people thought we should be doing. So we're a little bit higher, a little bit lower than we should be in the mock draft. So I'm not really sure if you're going to fall to us, but if he does, is this going to be another Evan Neal situation for us, or is this going to be a little better than that? How do you feel? Just my shot in the dark without knowing all the details.
My feeling is no matter where Milroe ends up, is I would not like him to start year one. I would like him to get into a situation where he can still sit behind somebody and learn. Because the thing about Milroe, and the reason why you're seeing better results here, is he's on his third OC, in 3 years. But this is the first one that actually liked him and was willing to work with him. That's why you're seeing better results this year. Yeah, the last two OC, the first OC had told him he wanted to switch positions. The second OC wanted to bring in his own guy, and Milroe wasn't his guy. It's kind of forced on him. So this is the first OC to come in and actually say, "You're our guy." You know what I mean? So, and we all know dual threat quarterback, the passing probably still needs to come along. The intermediate game still needs some work. I would love it if he got into a position where he didn't have to start next year. So that's Giants or wherever he goes.
I like the idea. Shane's in the house. What's up, man? Good evening, sir.
Look at this.
Yeah, surprise, huh?
Ben pulled a surprise on our last show. He has a guest in, and then Ben's here on this show. What's going on?
I don't know what's going on, but it is what it is. But where Milroe's concerned, I think he's like 16-2 in the last 18 starts. He hadn't had a whole lot of starts, but they were concerned about his pre-snap read stuff. I think that's probably improving as they move along, keeping his head up when he's looking downfield and stuff. A lot of players, quarterbacks are not doing that. I think Jaden Daniels had the same critique, and he kind of corrected it. Definitely in Washington, he does it a lot more now, and Milroe is doing that. So he's definitely a top 5 pick. Some people say top 10, top 15. I think I can say top 5 potentially anyway. But good to see you, Shane. Glad to have you in the house, brother. And the Running Wrestling Podcast, Big Mike's in the house. Said Herb is the greatest. I'm like, wow, that's high praise. It's not can't go much higher than greatest. It's nothing else left out here. It's nothing else left for that. That's all that's left is the greatest. So there's everything else is like.
I don't know if I can live up to that though. That's tough. That's tough.
I mean, he came in with it, so it's like either he wants to borrow some money off of you, or he's like super high on Herb. So yeah. I don't know.
He might be borrowing my internet later, so maybe that's why.
You know, borrow your share internet.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you guys heard a little bit about the Davante Adams situation. Honestly, I saw this bad boy afar off. We talked about that thing in the entire offseason. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure we didn't talk about it last year too. So he kind of in the words of Antonio Pierce, who I trust, he's the former Giant. I kind of got an idea of his character, his personality. He don't really mince words. He said that people out here making business decisions on the field. So he said, well, our team's going to make a business decision as well. So that's what – so now we're hearing that he's going to be on the trade block. Teams like Washington, the Steelers. I even got a poll up on X asking who you think he's the best fit. What do you guys think about Davante Adams, the whole Raiders situation, and who you think he's going to end up? We'll start with you, Ben, first, and we're moving around. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, the Commanders are a great fit. The Chiefs will be a great fit, except for, none of us are rooting for the Chiefs, right?
Correct.
But, yeah.
Do they have the money? I know you're going to say the Chiefs because you like them, but do they have the money to pay Davante Adams?
Not really. Not without making it uncomfortable the next 2 or 3 seasons. You're 100% right. So, the trade compensation is not a problem. Second-round pick, maybe a fifth along with it, that's not a big deal. But $44 million a year for the next 2 years, that's a big deal. The one caveat there is the dead cap is either going to be so small or at zero. If it turns out to be a bad deal after 1 year, you can walk away pretty cheaply, whoever it is that's picking him up. So that is a good part. But Commanders, I love. Yeah.
All right. Herb, what you got?
This is one of those we should have done this in the offseason. When the Raiders decided they weren't going to go ahead with a quarterback, he should have been gone. Like I don't know that you went into the season saying Gardner Minshew was going to be the guy. Like I don't think that was ever a consideration. So when they didn't get a quarterback, they should have already made this trade. So and I'm not up on the money situation of it, but I wouldn't mind seeing him on the Steelers just because their offense needs any kind of a jolt. So that'd be one of the teams that I could actually root for and I could see him with.
Last time I checked, they were top 3 in salary. I think they might even be number 1. So they have the money. But the other ones that are up there in high in salary don't need his particular services. But we'll see what happens. Shane, what do you think, man?
Right.
I mean, we all know I love cheating off of Herb's answers, but I agree with him. I definitely would have made this move before. Davante Adams let it be known that he didn't want to be part of the Raiders last year. He made that clear. He made it clear that he didn't think he had a quarterback on that entire team. And then for the Raiders to go out and not really go get somebody, to be a starter for him. You knew it was going to be problems, and I agree with you on Antonio Pierce. I give him credit because I guarantee you that on that Instagram post, not only did he like it, but he probably walked it right over to Davante Adams and said, look at what I just did. You better enjoy Green Bay, bud, because we're going to send you right back. You know, I think that Antonio Pierce doesn't play around. He's helped change that mentality again with the Raiders, where they're kind of a little bit of the old school Raiders, where it's our pirate ship and you better jump on it or you're going to be in trouble. You know, looking at teams, if I'm Washington and I feel like Jaden Daniels is as big as what he's shown so far, that's an automatic weapon, and I don't have another guy to kind of take some stuff off of Terry McLaurin. I wouldn't mind making that move, but the thing for them, it's, you know, he's proven that unless he has the quarterback that's looking for him all the time, it's going to be problems. I mean, the only one that he has gotten along with is Aaron Rodgers, and then no other wide receiver gets along with Aaron Rodgers. So it's, you know.
So this is Stephon Diggs all over again. That's what you're saying?
I was about to say Raiders are where receivers go to get crazy. Like, you put up big numbers, you end up with the Raiders, and then trouble happens.
That's funny.
One quick correction. I said the Steelers, the Commanders are the ones that are in the top 3 in the salary. The Steelers are somewhere around 10 and 13. Last time I checked, so it's not the Steelers, it's the Commanders. So,
can I give a warning real quick to Ben?
Of course.
For all these things where you have notes, you got to kind of do like this so Shane can't see them, because he will totally peek over on your paper and give your answer before you go. Happens every show. So I'm trying to help you out, man.
Is there any chance that this is great minds think alike? Maybe we're on the same page like that? Is that possible? No dice on that? Guess we're gonna find out because, well, no, this is predictions don't count. We ain't got but 2 choices for a team, so we're gonna pick the same team. So no answer is gonna be found out today. So we're gonna find out whether Shane's cheating or not. We're gonna find out this week, but it's all good. It's all good. All right, so week 4, man. Not as shocking to me as the week before. I was dumbfounded by the week before. Nothing went the way I thought. If I was measuring my picks, they were awful in the lower percentile. This was made a little bit more sense. Let's start off with what you thought about any game that jumped out that kind of made you kind of scratch your head. Anything that happened that you were shocked by? Good evening, Raj. This is one half of the Herb and Raj podcast, Tuesday evenings, 8 p.m. Central. Evening, sir. The Roll Tide contingent is in the house representing.
Sorry, Ben, man. We apologize. So
yeah, I wish I had some friends to say something about the team that I like. Lady Alpha's in the house. She said, well, this is one of our most ardent supporters. Thank you, lady. Good to see you. And, well, I'm all the way over there, but hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us tonight. All right. Great, guys. So what jumped out? What shocked you? Any takeaways from week 4? Oh, look at this. Let's see. I can't even get a. You couldn't just take that part out and just go, but just stick with your team. It's all
her
good.
Team is her. She is an Ohio State fan, so that part is hers.
Yeah. So yeah.
So you're not going to get a Michigan from her.
No, I don't expect that. Who's this part of the Roll Tide? Who's part of that? You guys pay your people really well, man.
Her favorite podcast. Sorry.
You guys pockets are deep. There's no question about that. I know who her favorite podcast is. No question. All right. So week 4 takeaways. What do you guys got?
Well, I thought the Bills and the Ravens game would be a lot more competitive than it was, especially the role that the Bills were on coming into that game, and Josh Allen, MVP talks and blah, blah, blah. And then it was like Derrick Henry started off the game and the game was over at that point. So I really thought, and I'd picked the Ravens, so I was fine with it. But I was thinking if I was going to be wrong on a pick, the Bills would just come out and smash them the way they'd been playing earlier. So, and then, you can't ever trust the Ravens. If you've got a lead in the 4th quarter and it's a small lead, they're the team that's going to blow it for you.
That's right.
Yeah. So that was one of the ones that jumped out.
Yeah. Shane, what you got? Shane, you're sitting there blinking, man. Can you hear me?
I was trying to make sure that I didn't cheat off of her, but what I was going to say is that the Commanders this week actually were the surprise for me. I thought Jaden Daniels had played well up until then, but then what they've been able to do, some of the stats that he's put up have been impressive. I thought that their offense minus him was going to be underwhelming this year, and I think they've played a lot better than I expected. I had always thought, they switch coaches. We had talked about before where some guys are just better as a defensive or offensive coordinator. I thought Dan Quinn was one of those guys that was always better as just a D coordinator, but he's really got that team to buy in. And I've been impressed with them this year. I did not expect it to be a jump in the first year with Jaden Daniels there and Dan Quinn.
Oh, same here, man. Their run game, man, really did it for them. I think they had 3 touchdowns from their backs. I think McNichols had 1 or 2, and Robinson had 1.
Yeah.
They were just out there. Don't get McNichols to put them in your fantasy team. That's not what this means. This is the epitome of aberration. If you guys are doing fantasy football, don't go get McNichols because he had 2 touchdowns. That's not going to happen this week. Please don't waste your roster space. 15 years of doing this, I know stuff. Don't do that. It's an aberration. Enjoy it if you're a Commanders fan. It's not happening next week. All right, so go ahead, Ben. What do you got, man? Week 4 takeaways.
I got a head scratcher and a shocker from the same game. The head scratcher for me was the Jets' offense. I get the Broncos' defense is better, but how you only score 9 points when you're at home and you got Aaron Rodgers? That's a head scratcher for me. I don't understand that. Blame is going to start getting pointed back toward the coaching staff for sure.
Yep.
But the shocker for that is Nix throws for 60 yards and the Broncos win. I mean, we've seen it, but that's a low number, man. 60 yards passing and the Broncos still win. I was shocked by that.
At one point, he had -7 passing yards, and they won 10-9. That's what that was their offense. It was from the kicker. It was off the leg of their kick. I mean, this is unreal. I mean, we already said in offseason that Salah was already on the hot seat. The man is on fire. I mean, he's on fire right now. He's literally burning like a charcoal briquette. Salah's already there. Like I don't know if it's going to be the way to solve it. I feel like Woody Johnson plays a part in some of this stuff, but I don't think we had time to get into that. But it's not just him and Aaron Rodgers. From what I understand, both of his legs are injured. I'm like, y'all not going to the Super Bowl. Predict it all you want. This is not happening. This was an epic bad. The Broncos shouldn't be boat racing anybody. That shouldn't be happening. No. But some takeaways. I mean, Darnold came away from me 11 touchdowns in 4 games. I'm like, wow. I don't know if this is a system thing or not, but this man he's rolling. He's rolling, man. I'm just amazed by this. And then at the same time, look at the Falcons, who we're going to be seeing tonight. They had no offensive touchdowns last week. 4 field goals. I'm like, that Bijan Robinson is on your team, right?
That was the problem last year, though. So apparently they haven't figured it out.
If you give him the ball, he'll probably run over most of the people that. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here. This is crazy. I think they still won the game too. I think, but it's just a lot. Rashee Rice out with what appears to be an ACL. I think they're still kind of trying to figure that part out. Not sure why it's taking so long, but he's definitely going to be out for at least 6 weeks. I think it was that I saw, a month. So they're not sure if it's an ACL, maybe it's an MCL. Chargers will have a high-powered offense. And the boys are struggling every single week. That's when Joe always did. It was still struggling. And he's out now. So, you know what I'm saying? I want to ask Shane about this with the Pats. Is it time for Drake May yet? I mean, they got ball security issues with Stevenson, which he's fumbling like once every game, which is like not a good average. But is it time for Brissett to take a seat and let Drake May get in here, man? How you feel about that, Shane? You want to let Brissett kind of hang in there? I think your coach wants him to stay. He's still a QB.
I mean, I called it early. When people said that Drake May wasn't going to get in and the Patriots put him in. The offense didn't look any better. I think more like what you're saying, Stevenson, especially the first fumble he had last game, it wasn't even a hit. I mean, he just looks like he's lost out there. And once you start to get the hiccups, that's like, Giants fan, Tiki Barber, when he had the fumbleitis and they talked to him about high and tight, that was when that started happening. Sometimes it just gets in your head and then you're worried about, is the ball being placed right? Am I taking it right? where am I looking? And then that's when things start to go down. I say I was not a fan of Drake May as a draft pick, but you've seen what Brissett can do, and it's not good. And if you want to pull the trigger and let's try to get the ball downfield, then I put him out there. I mean, right now you're at the point where you're just going to waste a year of him anyway. What is he getting by not being out there? And then everybody else on your team just gets 1 year older, and you're not letting him pull the trigger. I'd rather put him in the position. He wasted years at UNC where he didn't have great talent. Let's see what he can do with an offense. And if it doesn't pull together, then you're the Patriots and you haven't taken a draft pick on a good wide receiver in years. Maybe you go get him some weapons.
Yeah. I'm laughing at what Raj has to say. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not a bad suggestion by any means, you know.
Hey.
Well,
and instant weapons and everything. Like, Drake probably have fun over there.
if he's on the other side of the ball when you guys are playing each other and he does what Brissett's doing, he'll be playing for your team in more ways than one.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that looks. All right, that Cowboys and Giants.
I agree with Raj, man. I mean, right now the Dolphins are taking guys away from UPS to come play quarterback. I mean, they need some help.
Yes. I feel like that's insulting to the UPS guys because I feel like they would at least be like, "Let me throw the ball downfield." You know, they've watched.
You're right,
the
Herb.
ball.
They do deliver. You got a good point, Herb. They do
Yes.
deliver. So that's my bad.
Yeah, apologies to all UPS drivers out there.
Maybe like DHL or something on the other.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry about that. My bad.
Catching strays over here.
All righty. So I'm going to drop 3 teams on you guys. Tell me what you think about these guys. Are you concerned about them? Do you think there's a future here? Or you think it's pretty much the beginning of the end? Dallas Cowboys, Arizona Cardinals, and San Francisco 49ers. How are you feeling about these teams, man?
You want us to take them all 3? Like Dallas Cowboys, worried. The defense is supposed to be a back.
You feel great?
No, I mean, no, I'm worried because I'm not worried because I don't root for him. Sorry, Raj, his wife does. But defense not playing well, haven't solved certain issues on offense because it's basically CeeDee Lamb or nothing. And division seems to be getting a little bit. But I mean, I guess with Philly slide down, maybe you're not as worried. But the future doesn't look bright either to fill in the gaps because now you got to play Micah Parsons next year, so the money's not getting any better. So for them, I would say worried. Who's your other? San Francisco. I mean, it's hard to tell until the injuries get fixed, and then Brandon Ayuk decides to start playing again after counting his money, I guess. So if you get them healthy, I still think they're dangerous. You know, last year they had a lull in the middle. And who was my third team? Arizona. Still too early to tell. Yeah, I wouldn't be worried there yet. I mean, just still too early to tell. They just got him a big weapon, and they seem feisty and scoring a lot of points. So too early to tell.
All right, you got a cheat sheet. You feel exactly the same way? Like exactly to the letter? Or?
Yeah, I mean, Herb is dead on. I'm not even gonna go. I feel and Ben and Yusuf, you know this. I'll say this though. You know that I am partisan of the Arizona Cardinals joining the CFL. It's a team that I care nothing for, but like Herb said, they're feisty. They're gonna score points, and so they're also in a division where they can win some games that they probably shouldn't. Mm-hmm. On Herb's side, Dallas is done for. Like your best is Micah Parsons, and right now he's deciding if he's going to play for Philadelphia or he's going to play for Pittsburgh. Those are the decisions he's got to make right now because that defense is not solid right now. The offense has no tailback, which was a thing that they knew they needed to take care of, and they didn't. And then, I mean, that's then where you have to worry, like, is Dallas done completely? Do they have a chance? Like I said, I think they're done for.
Man.
And then San Francisco, I mean, that's if McCaffrey comes back. If McCaffrey comes back, then they have no problems. Right. I mean, but that's really what happens. The run game, having a run game and knowing that he's there, that takes care of a lot of issues for them. And like Herb said, I mean, when your wide receivers are busy trying to decide who's going to fake an injury this week and who's counting their money the next, you know, that's the problem. I mean, you looked at Shanahan having to yell at a wide receiver for wearing a different pair of shorts from everybody else at practice. That's what's happening in San Francisco right now. That's never been a problem before. And for that to be an issue, you know that they're just not thinking about everything else that they could be taking care of.
Yep.
Yeah. You sure you're done, Shane? I don't want to let been into this. Into your so you done?
I mean, Ben runs the other show. I'm just trying to get my voice out here. Come on.
You got carte blanche, baby. Do what you got to do, man. All right, Ben. What are your thoughts on the 3 teams? Cards, Cowboys, and the Niners. Any thoughts that not what we heard already?
Yeah, well, look, we're 25 minutes into my first appearance here. Is it too early for me to just cheat off of Herb as well? Can I do that?
Only took me one appearance. Go at it.
Look, the evidence is right here in writing. So, what other model do you want to use? Why would you use me? I'm just here. I'm not the greatest. So, yes, by all means, please do. Use your cheat. The Herb cheat sheet.
So here it comes. I'm basically with what Herb said. Dallas may have a decent season and they may scratch their way into some kind of a playoff spot, maybe. But long term, you look ahead, it's not exciting, man. You're paying so much money to Prescott, to CD, and then maybe to Micah, but maybe not. Maybe he's gone, but then that's not exciting either if Micah's gone. So now how are you going to build the depth on the roster, have starters? Yep. And you ain't been winning with these guys anyway. It's not like you've been showing up in the title games and the Super Bowl. So that to me is depressing. The other 2 teams, the 49ers and the Cardinals, I think the future still looks really good, whether it's this year or not. But for the Cowboys, yeah, long term, it's kind of depressing, to be honest.
Fair enough. Fair. Just from a quick Giants perspective, I don't want to spend too much time when I want to move into our best decision question and our predictions and stuff. But I broke down everything that was happening. I know that Micah and Lawrence are hurt, so that's going to be a big blow to their defense, which is probably one of their strongest areas. So that's pretty damaging. But this is what went on. We had a very efficient O-line against them. We gave up 1 sack, which is not normal for us. So I'm looking on the bright side here, being Mr. Brightside, looking at the improvements. DJ got the ball out in time. The deep pass efficiency was not there, just to be honest about it. Multiple drop passes by wide receivers, multiple. No one game to speak of for whatever the reason was. Singletary disappeared. 1.1 yards per catch, 26 rush yards altogether. You know what I'm saying? The neighbors got concussed, had over 100 yards. I told Rod asked us last week, does neighbor get more than 100 yards? I said, I hope not. If he does, we're probably not going to win. And lo and behold, he got over 100 yards, 120, something like that, and we didn't win. And we had a whole bunch of drive kills. Most good teams, man, if you're marginally good, you capitalize in the red zone. And the Giants was in the red zone a lot during that game. They didn't capitalize. So what that tells me is that the Cowboys are not anywhere close to what they were last year. I don't know what's fully changed. I don't know if it's a mindset. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know what it is. But if we were marginally good at doing simple football stuff, that everybody else who's the Jaguars are probably even doing that stuff. And they're winless right now. And they're probably doing the same thing that we're not doing. If they had done that, the Cowboys wouldn't have won this game. I got a neighbor down here. He probably doesn't watch the show. If he does, good. I should say your name on the air. Let everybody know who you are. He outside in front of the house. I'm going to the mailbox. He outside in front of the house with his arms out, dancing, staring at me, smiling. He's a Cowboys fan, by the way. I don't ever hear from him. He's a Cowboy fan and a Clemson fan. I never even hear from him for no reason. He's standing outside. I'm like, you happy about this? You cheering? And the guy across the street, he's a Cowboy fan too. He's like, you excited about this? You celebrating this? 20-15? You really? The way they played? So I'm like, the Cowboys are not anywhere where they should be, but I think even a marginal team has the ability to beat them in the state that they're in right now. Like you guys said, that's not a good place to be. As far as the Niners go, I don't know, man. Warner's out. Elliott's out. I think Trent's out. Kittle might be coming back, but right now he's out. C-Mac's out. Depending on his German doctors, he might be coming back sooner than later, but we don't know. We'll see what kind of a schnitzel he gets out there. But right now, he's out. You got 5-6 million guys that are out that are injured, man, and you can't afford to let this division get out of your hands. You don't have the luxury because it can be going real fast. Even the Cardinals could even catch up. They're not that far away. So, but other than that, crazy week 4. All right. So best decision, and we've been doing this with plugging in the team. We're doing it alphabetically, so you can easily follow it. But this week, we're doing the Baltimore Ravens. So what's the best decision the Baltimore Ravens has made in the offseason? Now, if you want to say Derrick Henry, you can. I'm going to do mine first so we can get it out of the way and give you something to think about. because normally Henry makes a lot of sense. I think that Dobbins and Gus, the bus, if they were still there, they would still be able to not so much carry the team, but I think they can carry that area of their offense, and it wouldn't have to be, some big wide upheaval because they did a great job managing it before. It worked. They were being, I wouldn't say dominant because Dobbins was injured a good bit off and on, but they were very efficient in that area. So them not being there, Henry is an upgrade without question. I mean, 275 pounds, 6'4". I mean, people making business decisions all day, not tackling him because they don't want to get they want to get embarrassed and get posterized. But at the very least, they'd have been effective. So I think the biggest thing they did was re-sign Matabuke. I think it's the biggest thing that they did because last year I think he had 159 tackles, 22 and a half sacks in 4 seasons. So the man's been efficient, and he was going to get on that free agent marketplace, and they pulled them back. I mean, because their defense was what I think in 2021 they were 18th in defense. In 2022 they were 4th. In 2023 they were 1st. So obviously you see a great progression there, and he was a big part of why that happened. His sack totals were probably by far the most in the entire league, with the Chiefs being a close second. So re-signing him was probably the biggest thing that they did in the offseason outside of Henry. What do you guys think was the biggest move they made in the offseason?
I'll go last this time. So.
Oh, yeah. Ben, you can go.
I can go first.
Okay, Shane, you go.
I thought the biggest thing that they did was not act this year. Normally, Baltimore, I think they make some great draft picks. I think they normally do well in the market. But this year, other than Henry, which I agree, like you're making that running back and he's a splash move. But I think there was weakness on the offensive line. They didn't do great on there. I think they let some other defensive players that you're talking about escape. I think Kyle Hamilton is as good as everybody else does, that I would have tried to get him some other help to make him even better defensively. So I really think Baltimore was not great this year. Their strongest move was not doing anything, and I think it's showing this year. That's why I see a big drop-off in them. Losing Mike McDonald as a defensive coordinator, which is something Baltimore's had to deal with year in, year out. But the defense plays different. They don't attack as much as they did in years past. And with the offense not picking up as quickly as it did, I think it's really showing in Baltimore.
Copy that. Ben, what do you got?
So for me, it's Derrick Henry. I love that they did that. I think that's going to be big as long as he's healthy. But I'll go in a different route just for second place. It's not signing Patrick Queen, which, by the way, I love Patrick Queen as linebacker. I think he's a heck of a player. But you can't afford to keep everybody. We're seeing other teams around the league, their depth and their starters struggle a lot because they try to keep all their top players, their top 10 or 12 guys. Well, you got to pick 5 or 6 and pay those and let the others walk. So when you let Patrick Queen walk, it's going to hurt you the next season. There's no question about it. But you got a good coaching staff. You got a good organization. You don't have to pay everybody. So you got to let somebody walk. That was a good decision. It will hurt them in the short term, right. But over the long term, that's a smart decision by a smart organization.
Yeah. I raised my arms because I hated when they lost C.J. Mosley, because he's a Bama guy. And it just like certain names going out the door always hurt me. So whenever you say Patrick Queen, that just kind of brings up that memory too as well. So I'm gonna take the low hanging fruit. Then I'm gonna say signing Derrick Henry, but I'm gonna phrase it in a way: signing a big name running back was a good decision because it at least said to them, hey, we're going to get back to actually trying to run the ball. And I know we say they're a great rushing offense. Yeah, well, against Kansas City, they abandoned it completely. I think you sign a name like Derrick Henry, and now you're like, look, in these big games, we can't get away from that. And I think you saw in the first 2 games of the year, they were like, maybe we'll still run a little more Lamar. The last 2 games, they said, okay, we did sign Derrick Henry. Let's go ahead and not try to ignore the biggest running back we've got. And you're getting better results. So signing a big name that the coaching staff cannot possibly ignore come crunch time was a good decision for them.
I like it. And what were we talking about as far as his carries? I want to kind of grab those numbers. I think it might be relevant to this conversation. Where was Derrick Henry at? I want to see something here with this. You were saying
Derrick Henry is kind of more of a volume guy. I think that's was kind of lost on them. And that's kind of where at the end of his Titans career, they're like, oh, his yards per carry is down. That's fine because Derrick Henry isn't necessarily always your first or second quarter guy. He's more like in the fourth quarter when he's on, carry 20 through 25. he's still fresh. And, the guys that didn't want to tackle him the first quarter really don't want to tackle him the fourth quarter. And I think that's where you have to have that commitment. If you've got a good defense like Baltimore and a commitment to the run, it's going to be much better off.
Yeah, it was definitely a marked difference in the past 2 games, like you said. At Dallas, 25 carries for 151. Excuse me. In Buffalo, 24 for 199. 2 scores in the Dallas game, 1 score in the Buffalo game. So they definitely fit him to rock. So you look at the result, I would probably assume those 2 games were wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
They won both, right? Okay, yeah. So that definitely is playing into that line. Now we talked about this maybe a month ago, maybe about his backup Justice Hill. Do you love him? Because you're gonna have to learn to love him because they can't keep running Derrick Henry at this pace that we're looking at right now. They got to take some time to ease up and keep him fresh. Because, provided they decide to, not abandon the running game in the postseason like they did last year. If they decide to not do that, we need to have Derrick Henry on point there. Do you like Justice Hill as a backup? Because I like Gus the Bus better, but that's just me. Mm-hmm. I know what to expect from him, but Justice Hill being back there as the lead dog, and Henry has to take a break, that could happen. He might have to take a game off. He may not play 16, 17 games. So then what you going to do? You're going to run Justice Hill. Do you guys like him? No feeling about it? Wait and see. How do you feel about Justice Hill in an expanded role?
I mean, for me, I probably would have, like you said, I like Gus. I would have liked J.K. Dobbins over that. I think it's a change in style. I don't think Hill's bad. The other thing that Herb hit on, too, when you're talking about Henry getting those carries late is the last 2 games where the run game looked a little bit better is they put Pat Ricard off on the side instead of a regular I formation and brought him in motion to let him be the fullback, but not playing a true fullback because Henry likes to be able to get to the line and then attack off of that. I think they can waste some carries on some other guys. Also, Lamar Jackson, you know that he's going to bust up some long runs as well. I think they're starting to get this offense moving and find out how it is. But, I mean, to the Hill point, I think there were other backs that you could have brought in that would have given you a better backup.
Who do you like that was out there that was available? Because I think either Dobbins or Gus would have been fine. I mean, probably better than like I said, really efficient. Who else did you like?
If I had thought that Dobbins was going to come back healthy, I mean, because you look at the Chargers offense, they're feeding him the ball. And they took a defensive tackle that had never played fullback before, and they used him in that lineup. Pat Ricard is probably the best blocking fullback in the NFL. You easily could have put him in that same formation and let Dobbins run downhill. Like I said, I think you could have made a cheaper get, and I think Dobbins would have stuck around. But when they didn't really back him up, older Harbaugh brother's going to come get that. You're not going to let your brother hide that.
I don't know how they pull that thing off. Man, what you guys call each other and send each other email talking about, yeah, give me him, I give you him. Is that what they're doing? I don't get it. Both Baltimore running backs, not one. Both of them. I'm like, I don't think I understand. Something's not okay. Something weird about that. But I'm gonna just leave that there. I don't want to get them cranked up by college football and Michigan fans. Oh my gosh, I don't want to start that. But something's weird with that one. That's weird to me. Okay. But any other thoughts on the Baltimore Ravens overall? How do you feel about where they're going? Do you like the direction they're heading in? We talked about Lamar a lot. Like we don't want him running. We want him to stay in the pocket and throwing the ball downfield. We want him doing too much running. How do you feel about where things are going? You feel confident these guys can really compete this time and kind of go deeper? Or are we looking at a repeat? Gut feeling. What do you think? Ben.
Yeah, I like where they're going, but I not as much as I did during the offseason. During the offseason, I expected this team to just kind of come out guns blazing, and they didn't. But they seem to have figured out the Henry thing, so I like that. And Cincinnati, who was my other big threat in that division, looks like a clown show so far. So I like Baltimore okay for now. Yeah, still give them a chance.
Yeah.
Copy that. Herb?
Yeah, I think because of their division, Pittsburgh can't continue to win like this with no offense. And, Cleveland and Cincinnati are terrible. So I think Baltimore is going to have a chance to continue to figure it out. At some point, they're going to want a little more balance with the passing game. But right now, you just lean on the running game a little bit more, and I think you'll be fine. And so, yeah, I still see them winning the division. I think they're going to overtake Pittsburgh, and I think they'll be fine, once they come to postseason. Now, what they decide to do in the postseason, no idea, because they went against whatever I thought last year. So that's up in the air. But I think they've got plenty of time to figure it out.
So you like him better than Pittsburgh? Okay, that's good.
I just don't think, and I root for Pittsburgh, but I just don't think you can keep winning like this. At some point you got to have some semblance of an offense.
Ain't that the truth? That's the gospel right there. All right, Shano, what you got, brother?
I agree with those guys. I think the other thing for Baltimore, I think they need to look more to Andrews and Likely.
Yeah.
You agree with Shaker?
It's like Likely had a great game and then he disappears, and then Edwards has had Andrews, has had like one target, it feels like, in the line, and he dropped it. That's what I can remember. So
he's wow.
It's bad out there.
Yeah, I thought everybody in fantasy went crazy after week 1. They went and got Likely so fast. They had Likely over everybody's roster. That man's been on that. He's been on that AL roster for weeks now. He's not on Lamar Jackson's roster. That's the problem. So Lamar's playing fantasy, and he doesn't have Likely, so he's like, whatever. Yes, I can see that right now. Okay, our prediction. There's some really good games coming up this week. We'll go ahead and run them down. We've been doing, guys. I think I shared with you, Ben, offline. We just predicting it. If you got commentary on it, we got time for it. You know what I'm saying? By all means, tell us why you think that if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine. We just take the picks and we move on to our 5-pack and we'll close the show out. No worries there. All right. For first game, it's going to be on right now. Matter of fact, it's on right in front of me right now. I promise I'm not peeking. The Bucks at the Falcons.
How is your game on already? I still got 30 minutes.
No, the coverage.
Oh, sorry.
Yusuf's Nostradamus. He's already seen this one.
So we'll just wait till you pick and you tell us what's happening.
I don't want to be the first one because I don't know the answer. I don't know. So go ahead, Shane. You go first.
I go Falcons. Falcons. I think the offense picks up.
Okay, Ben.
I'll take the Falcons. I love the way that they're just scratching and clawing and competing. I really do like that.
Yeah. I went Falcons, mostly at home. Hopefully they can figure it out. And I just don't feel like I could trust Tampa Bay week to week yet.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, all right.
Get on the island, Mr. U.
Yeah, I think I will, but I got a feeling that I'm going to end up paying for this. But I think Mike Evans is going to go off, which I hope so, because he's on my fantasy team. But hopefully he goes off. But I think the Falcons win this. I think that they reestablish the running game. I'm looking for that. I'm watching that more than anything. I ain't even watching Kirk Cousins. I want to see the running game.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see that. I'm going Falcons as well. So we got all of us going for the Falcons. Hope that's a good sign. All right, Jets at Vikings in London. So they're traveling. This is easy for me, but I ain't going for a Shane here. So go ahead, Shane.
Vikings landslide.
What is landslide? What? 3 touchdowns? Okay.
I mean, with the way Kevin O'Connell's calling that offense right now and Sam Darnold, the Jets are definitely on that list of teams to embarrass when he gets the opportunity. I wouldn't be surprised if they put up at least 4 in the air. So, I mean, that's 28 right off the bat. So I'm gonna give the Jets. Maybe they scored 0. It's gonna be in England, so it might be a shutout on that end.
I forgot about the revenge factor. You think Darnold's still having some feelings about the Jets right now? You think he's
going to show them some ghosts that he saw when he was with the Jets?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a spanking.
I almost forgot about the ghosts. Oh, wow. There's going to be ghosts. It's October 2, almost near Halloween. There's going to be ghosts.
Exactly.
Somebody be wearing a ghost outfit in London. You can bank on that. It's happening. All right. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, the Vikings are hot right now. I'm not sure that Sam Darnold bubble doesn't burst at some point with a bad appearance. But this week, give me the Vikings. The Jets just don't have it together yet. So give me the Vikings.
Yeah.
All right. Come on.
Yep. Vikings playing actually better defense to me, at least from the outside, than the Jets, and then much better offense. If you're putting up 9 on the Broncos, I just don't see this one going very well for you. And I understand Broncos have a good defense, but that's why you brought in Aaron Rodgers. If this is how it's going to go, and he's banged up, I don't see how this is anything but a Vikings victory.
Yeah, with 2 messed up legs, you're probably not running from anybody very fast. So, and the Vikings pass rush has been ferocious. So, this is going to be a Viking thing. You know what? I'm here for it. Go ahead and win by 5 touchdowns. I'm good with that. That'd be great. I'm definitely down with that one. Keep that one going. All right. Panthers at Bears. Shane, what you got?
This is tough.
You thought, huh?
We're going Bears. We're going Bears. Get on that Williams train. Let's go Bears. I think Dalton pulled back, but I think Williams will be able to pull this out. I think Chicago has some other components, and I mean the Panthers are going to Panther. So,
all right. So no fear of Deontay Johnson, huh?
Not right now.
Okay, Ben.
Bears win 20-17. I think it's close and tight, but I like the Bears to pull this out.
Yeah. I went Panthers just because Dalton gives them a shot in the arm. I think both teams' offenses can be, I don't know, terrible. Like the Bears' offense is just not anywhere what I thought when they put all the weapons into it and got Williams out there. So I thought they'd be much better. So is this like a confident pick? And will I watch this game? No and no. But I'm going to give Panthers in a little bit of an upset win just because.
Yeah, not a chance. So we're talking about insight on it too. So hold that insight for us. We'll be all going to talk about it. All right, I'm going with the Panthers as well. I'm looking at Herb Sheets. I'm going with the Panthers. I think Deontay Johnson and Chuba Hubbard are going to go off on the Bears because the defense is not good. So sorry, this ain't got nothing to do with Caleb Williams. This is about their defense. The Panthers are going to win this game. Maybe not by a lot, but at least by a touchdown. They're going to win this game. All right, Ravens at Bengals. Shano.
Ravens. The Bengals are trying to win a game right now. I feel bad for Joe Burrow. Probably shouldn't have cut his hair and dyed it, but it's been bad for the Bengals since.
That played a part?
I mean, you're
Hercules.
Exactly. I mean, so Chris Long always says on his podcast, if you grow facial hair or cut your hair, there's some problems, and I'm not going to pick your team when it comes to betting time. And the Bengals have looked absolutely terrible this year.
I feel like there's more stuff going on beside his hair growth, but okay, all right, that's fair.
Yeah, no offensive line and no tailback. That's what's going on. That's not his fault.
And no defense.
That trench work is important, huh? Wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, like I said, I don't understand why NFL teams don't pay money to get. You have an all-star quarterback and you don't spend some money and buy a left tackle. Don't get it.
Okay. For clarity, we discussed this on previous shows. The Bengals spend money on the trenches, but they don't spend them. They're buying from Dollar General. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. It's not.
They spent money at the center. That wasn't the problem.
They spent like $90-something million on the offensive line, but they bought from Dollar General. They didn't buy. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. They bought on discount, and they're paying for it. For the past 4 or 5 years? The trenches have been their worst problem. Offensive line, defensive line for the past 4 or 5 years, and they haven't fixed it yet. And all that money, all the money they put into it, we can't see any signs, but we can't see but money going to second string as reserves. The guys that ain't got no action, no sacks, no pass rushes, no hurries, no quarterback hits, nothing, just bums out there, but paid, well paid. And then they ain't bummed, they wish, but they ain't doing nothing. Come on, Ben, what you got, man? Ravens, Bengals.
The Bengals will be dangerous all year no matter the record. But this game right here, Baltimore can really land a knockout blow to any postseason hopes the Bengals still hang on to. And I got this as an Undertaker game. I think the Ravens are just going to do a tombstone here on the Bengals, and the Bengals postseason hopes are done. That's it.
Wow. Undertaker, love the wrestling reference. All right, Herb, what you got?
Yeah, Ravens. I think they run all over them. And to Shades to talk about that one, it's funny to me that they're not spending money or the right spots on the line, but then they don't want to play the receivers either, and the offense is supposed to carry the whole thing. So they're just like, I don't know, they got to do 2 extensions for Joe Burrow at the same time or something. Like, I don't understand what's going on. Like, who are you trying to get happy?
Ownership
What are we
of the
doing?
team, or he's out.
I mean, maybe so, right? At this point, that's all I can think of what they're trying to do, but none of it makes any sense.
Jamar Chase probably had his eyes wide open because he watched what they're doing to T. Higgins. I'm like, wow. So he knew what he's about to get. So this is and Cat Pool, she's our resident Saints fan, so can't wait to hear her pick. She said, told y'all with the hair. Leave the mutilation to what's this? He can leave the
hair mutilation to me.
I think I'm missing the important factor in this story.
You have to check what she's doing to her hair, is what she's saying.
Yeah, I saw
on a
some
daily
pictures.
basis.
I'm gonna keep moving because I love me some Lady Alpha. All right, so Bills at Houston Texans. Oh wow, Shane, what you got?
I went Texans on this one. I think the Bills make it competitive, but I think Houston is way more well-rounded than the Bills are.
This is a tough one. What you got, Ben?
It is.
I do think this is a fun game, but once again, we're looking at a Houston Texans secondary, just like last week, that can match up to these Bills receivers. I mean, there's nothing yet happening there in the Bills receiving room that just really has you on fire. So while it's nice you're spreading the ball around, I feel like this Houston secondary can hold up and manage all of that. And so give me the Houston Texans to win this thing.
Whew. All right, Herb, what do you have?
I went Texans because that's who I'm rooting for. I don't think they've played as well as I would like. You look at all three of the games they've won, they're squeaking by, but they are making us just enough plays to win. Bills scare me, and had they played better at Ravens, maybe I'd feel, a little less comfortable picking them. But I'm going with Texans. That's who I'm rooting for, and them at home. But I feel like this is going to be a tight one for sure.
All right. I can't do that. I'm going with the Bills, and for a few reasons. Tank Dell is injured. Last I heard, I'm not sure if he's better now. Laramie Tunsil's injured. Damian Pierce and Joe Mixon, the top two backs on the team, are both injured. Jimmy Ward is injured. Even without, no, it can't happen. So I think we're going Bills here. Colts at Jaguars. I'll give you mine now. It's going to be Colts. What do you have, Shane?
I picked the Colts as well in a battle of interceptions.
I wonder if
like
Richardson can play. Richardson is questionable right now, so I wonder if he's even going to play, but we'll see that. What do you have, Ben?
Yeah, listen, Flacco, Richardson, I like it either way here against the struggling Jaguars, so give me the Colts.
Yeah.
Pink and copper. Lady Alfred, feisty. All right, what do you got, Herb?
Yeah, I went Colts. I just don't know that I want to pick the Jags at any point. It feels like they're actively finding ways, different ways each way, hey, we're either going to blow this lead or just get blown out or, first and goal from the one and not score. Like, I just don't see myself picking the Jags. And if Richardson doesn't play, that might even be better for the Colts, to be honest. So
I like what Flacco's done so far. Every time he comes in, even when he comes in and takes over and he's efficient. I'm like, okay, Richardson, go ahead and take a break, man. This is going to be an easy win for if Flacco's throwing the ball, but it's going to be more difficult and more challenging if you're throwing the ball, which is sad to say. All right.
Can you tell which of us cut Richardson from their fantasy football team?
Yeah, I think I can. Me. But that's because I know stuff and I see stuff. I make good decisions most of the time. So if I cut somebody, it's really a mistake. I really regret it. I don't regret it at all right now. All right, Raj, here we are, baby. Dolphins at. I ain't gonna wait for you, but I'm looking to hear from you like right about now, brother. All right, Shane, what you got? This is your team, so I know what you're gonna say, but Dolphins pass.
I know.
Hi, Lisa.
I think this is going to be a terribly played game by both sides. Maybe someone scores a safety out of this. The Dolphins are in trouble too. I mean, the Pats don't look good. But I'll go with Miami on this one.
Wow.
Miami. All right.
Ben doesn't want to pick this game.
You can pass. You can say push, and we can just move right on. It's not a problem, but.
I really don't, but I got a whole different take here on the Miami Dolphins. I can't wait for whatever week it is that Tom Brady is stuck doing a Miami Dolphins game, and whoever he's working with that week turns to his right and looks, and Tom Brady's not sitting there anymore, and he looks down on the field, and Tom Brady's suited up for the Miami Dolphins because he just can't handle looking at that horrible quarterback play anymore. All right, give me the Dolphins to win this game 13-12.
Ben, that's foolishness. All right, Herb, go ahead.
I'm going with the Dolphins also, mostly out of respect for Raj. I'm gonna pick his team, but this is gonna be an ugly one. I'm gonna say Dolphins, 6-3, something like that, right, so, or to go with Shane 6-2. How about that?
I think the Dolphins are gonna win, but I'm not sure why I think that. I like Huntley when he was in a backup with the Ravens. Behind Lamar. I don't like what happened last week, but I think he's a great backup. So give him some time. I think some things can happen. Are we going to see Waddle and Hill kind of do what we think they can do? A lot of ifs, ands, and buts here. I know that, so I'm going Dolphins just for lack of a really good answer beside that. But Browns at Commanders. Shane-O, what you got?
Commanders.
Yeah.
Jumping on the Commanders bandwagon. Herb said it before. I will never pick a Watson-led quarterback team. So there you go. And Cleveland has not looked good ground game either or defensively. I think the Commanders are going to start running up some points.
Why do you hate massages? All right, Ben, let's go. What you got?
Really? That's what you're going to lead into me with?
Wow.
That's a tough lead-in.
All right, I'm on the Commanders bandwagon too. That how far can they carry that? I don't know, but I like it this week against the Browns team that's kind of looks sick, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm picking for Washington and against Cleveland for how bad they look. So those are both my picks.
Double pick. I like it. I'm going Commanders too. The Browns are supposed to have an elite defense. I'm trying to see what happened because I don't see it right now. So I'm going Commanders as well. Let's keep moving because we're up against the clock now. Raiders at Broncos. Gosh, this is a tough pick, but go ahead. Shane. Okay. Herb said Broncos. We got Shane.
Broncos.
Ben.
Tight one. Go with both teams 2-2, so the winner comes out 3-2. But give me the Raiders.
Really?
Sure. Lady, y'all, their defense has been elite for like 3 years. They haven't been that bad. All right. Cardinals at Niners. And this is without C-Mac, possibly without Trent. Elliott's out. Walters is out. Winters is out, excuse me. Oh, I'm missing somebody. But what you got, Shane?
I went Cardinals in this. I think it's going to be a shootout.
What?
I think it's going to be a shootout. Yeah.
You love the most. You picked the Cardinals. Got it. Ben.
I got the 49ers. The Cardinals the last 2 weeks have me a little worried about this game in particular, but I'd love to see a shootout too. Give me the 49ers.
Yeah.
Copy. Heard.
I went with the 49ers. I love the Cardinals pick. Like I said, feisty. I think they will score a lot of points, but I feel like the 49ers will do just enough. And who knows? Maybe Brandon Ayuk plays this week and they do enough to get the win.
It feels like it's just time for him.
I mean, he came out, dropped some passes the first week, dropped a couple touchdown passes, like maybe just working himself back into shape. I don't know.
I say that because I have vested interest in him doing well. Mason doing well, who I think is going to have probably like 200 yards. I'm going with the Niners in this one. Mason Ayuk is going to go off. I'm excited about it. Packers at Rams. Wow. I don't know, Shane. What you doing here?
I can't believe it, but I went Rams on this one.
Wow.
You kidding? Okay, Ben.
I picked the Packers just because the Rams are so baked up, and every time I pick them to win, they lose. So I don't know. Give me the Packers.
I mean, that's a fair point.
I respect it. I heard.
Yeah.
What you got?
I'm going Packers. I don't even know if the Rams have any pass catchers left. So, and I'll pick the Packers with no matter who would start at quarterback.
I can't pick the Rams, so I'm picking Packers here. All right. Giants at Seahawks. It don't matter what you guys say. I'm going to just take whatever you said and jot it down. We're going to keep on moving. But Giants at Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Of course. Ben.
Sorry, Seahawks as well, but I do think it's close.
Of course. Herbo.
Seahawks. I'd feel better if I thought Neighbors is going to miss this game, though, right? Like he's still in concussion protocol. Yeah, I'd feel better if he was on the field for the Giants, but I'm going Seahawks.
Yeah. See, last time I fell for the trick with the Vikings and the Giants, oh man, if Giants they could match up. Yeah, all right. I'm going Seahawks here too. Cowboys at Steelers. Ooh, I give you mine right now. I'm going Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
I have to. Contractually obligated to do so. So, Shane, what do you got?
Steelers. I think T.J. Watt gets a touchdown to help their offense.
What?
I mean, back touchdown.
If you had to pick T.J. Watt or Najee Harris to get a touchdown, T.J. Watt is a pretty good bet.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially in this situation they got going on.
Yeah.
Ben, what do you got, buddy?
I have no good reason to do this, but I'm picking the Cowboys simply because I don't want to hear the media all freaking week talk about the Cowboys and what's wrong with them. So give me the Cowboys to win.
All right, Herb, what you got?
I went Steelers just I think they figure out a way. I would figure the smart money would be on Dallas because of the offense, and then if we're relying on TJ Watt to score, it's kind of scary. But I figured Pittsburgh will figure out something and get something done, and I'm going Pittsburgh at home.
See, here's the thing. All the things that I said the Giants, for some strange reason, it's inexplicable to me that they couldn't do that. The Steelers can do that. And Justin Fields probably going to have like 350 yards in the air probably against the Cowboys. It's going to be a clinic in that regard. And who catches it is a whole different story. They ain't getting Devontae quick. I don't think they ain't getting Devontae by Sunday. If they did, they couldn't play anyway. So, yeah. All right, last game to the Monday night game. Cap Pool, where are you? You still out there? I ain't hear Rogers pick from Miami yet. What happened, man? Miami, New England. Raj, who you picking? He's picking the Phillies probably, but I want to hear you say it. I want to hear you co-sign. All right, Cap Pool. Saints at the Chiefs. Now, the Chiefs they're being called the biggest 4-0 frauds out there right now. First off, tell me who you pick and how you feel about that real quick, and then we move on to our 5-pack poll to close it down. Shane. Saints.
Okay, so let's go. I think Kansas City wins, but I also do think that this is the weakest they've looked for now. Yeah. I don't think the offense is clicking right now. Defense has had to dial it up late to be able to keep them in games. They're not looking strong right now.
Fair enough. Ben, what do you got, buddy?
So I got the Chiefs to win a tight one here. I do think it's close, but we've seen the same match from the Chiefs last year. For the first 9-10 games of last year, most of us thought the Chiefs were a bit of a joke. We even wondered if they might lose their way out of the playoffs, and then they show up. So they got a lot of work to do, but until playoff time comes and they still look this pathetic, then I'm okay with them because we've seen them do it before.
Yep.
All right, Shane. How about you? Sorry, Shane. Herbo, what you got, buddy?
Yeah, and so Taysom Hill, I guess, being out, and there's some other people banged up and on the injury report. Oh, yeah. But I already know what I'm going to do is talk myself into the Saints by Monday night. So I'm just going to jump ahead to that and say, if you're ever going to get the Chiefs, now is the time. So go ahead and give me the Saints some weird way. The Chiefs are clearly, like, you could be playing a high school team at this point. The Chiefs aren't going to blow them out, clearly. So, Saints will figure out something stupid to get a win here.
Wow. I mean, their defense is really, really good. So I guess that makes sense. But I guess the whole offensive situation got to be right. I respect your Cap. I think I would feel almost the same way. Chiefs because of the refs and case. Come on. Come on. There was some time the Chiefs were dead to rights, man. They just I can't do the refs part.
We talked about it earlier, and that's kind of why she's saying that too. But their problem is, like, back-to-back weeks, they've had some of the most high-profile calls go their way, and not even the exact, the one call. Okay, we'll call pass interference at the time. Okay, we won't call pass interference. Like the rest will go, what do you want from me? You told me not to do this, and I didn't do it. Oh, wrong team. You know what I mean? So it's because it's been so high-profile and game winners like 2 weeks in a row. That's why it's kind of like, all right, like, what's really going on?
We see that in a couple of Super Bowls, haven't we? That same questionable call stuff is not really a new thing. We've seen it in the playoffs past couple of years, right?
I say that, but like, I was one of the ones for last year on the Chiefs that I was like, I'm not buying all this rigged stuff. You had Baltimore, who abandoned the run game, kept them, scoreless for the whole second half and didn't win. I blame that for Baltimore. And San Francisco started the third quarter with 8 pass plays in a row without trying to knock them out, and then also had to get a muff punt just to give away the momentum. So both of those teams really kind of coached themselves out of it. I don't blame the refs for the Chiefs Super Bowl last year. I feel like the teams kind of outsmarted themselves.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. All right, our 5-pack poll. We had so much fun with this. All right, we got 5 categories, 5 teams. You got to put them in one place. Can't repeat them. One answer per team. All right. The first one is wins the division. Second one is dead last in the division. Third one is plays in the Super Bowl in the next 3 years. The fourth one is in full rebuild within 5 years. And the fifth one is the first round playoff exit. We have fun with this. Our 5 teams: Jaguars, Texans, Rams, Chiefs, and the Titans. Who wants to give theirs first? Jacksonville, Houston, LA, Kansas City, and Tennessee. Hurry up, man. The game's getting ready to start.
Okay. I'll go for me.
Okay.
All right, Shane, go.
I'll take the hit. I think I went pretty chalk on this one, though, but For wins the division, I went Kansas City. For dead last in the division, Jacksonville. Then I went Houston for Super Bowl in 3 years. Full rebuild in the next 5 is Tennessee. And then the Rams, I think that they were the ones that you could have the early round exit. I mean, you could flip Jacksonville and Tennessee. I think both teams are going to be in complete rebuild, but I had to be nice to one of them.
What's up, big fella? Thanks for jumping on, man. We almost done. We could have talked to you about the game and everything, man. You just got here. You already missed
he has a show that comes on the same time as yours, though.
My bad. I'm sorry. Thanks, Randy. Good to see you in the house, brother. All right. So what do you have, man?
Mine was close. So the easy fruit was the Jaguars last in the division. I couldn't move off of that. I also put the Titans at full rebuild in the next 5 years. I think that happens. I don't. They gave it a shot this year to give Will Levis a chance, but I don't think that's going to work out too well. Texans is the first round playoff exit. I didn't like that one, but I had to put these things somewhere. Chiefs to win the division. I still like that. They got a good start on everybody. Rams, this is the one I'm not sure about, but here it comes. Playing the Super Bowl in the next 3 years, man. They got Sean McVay.
Your mind, sir. You have lost your mind.
Sean McVay, baby.
Is Aaron Donald coming back?
I hope so.
Even if he did, smarter. he can't play 6 positions. All right, Herb, what you got, man?
I don't. Did I just cheat off of Shane's on there? So the 2 I flip flop, I'm going to go with the one I like better. I'm giving Houston the Super Bowl and Kansas City the division. So yeah, I thought I was peeking in the right one. He was late getting home, so I got to see his notes before he got there. So last in the division, I went Jacksonville and I was kind of playing back and forth with Jacksonville and Tennessee, which one was going to be the rebuild. You know, one of my goofy little rules, if you already have your quarterback, I don't put you into the rebuild situation. The people who I think are not going to have a quarterback. So whether Trevor Lawrence is the guy or not, they just decided to pay him $50 million. So I don't think it's like a full rebuild. And then the first round exit, I don't know how this is going to happen, but I gave it to the Rams. I don't like something miraculous is going to happen. You know, if Aaron Donald comes back, he's going to need to play receiver and defense. So, but I gave it to them. That was the only thing I had left.
All right, this is why I love the 5-pack poll, man, because there's 4 of us, man. We're going to have different things across I love it. This is so much fun. All right, so for me, I'll do it in different order. I got the KC, the Chiefs, in the Super Bowl for the next 3 years. I think it's a nice, safe bet. As far as the first round playoff exit, I got Houston there. I think they come on, but I'm not sure that they're quite totally ready to see the next step from last year, or kind of elevate from last year. In the full rebuild, I got Jacksonville. Now I kind of see it a little bit differently from you, Herb, about the quarterback just getting paid. I just feel like they put so much money into offense on it, defense as well too, but it's not really panning out, and you can't really sit there with those kind of investments and just kind of just sit there and let it play out. It's like it's just after a while, after about a couple of years, you got a chance to kind of break out because of the contract. These guys are going to be in a full rebuild. I almost feel that. Dead last in the division is going to be Tennessee, and I got the Rams winning the division because it looks like the Niners are like, depending on when they come back, it couldn't have been too late. If Puka and Nakua and the rest of the guys come back before them and make a run, it could be they could Niners still be in the playoffs, but the division's not going to be an easy take for them right there, man. But that's our stuff right there. We good for the night. TNF is getting ready to start. You got the Bucks and you got the Falcons. Baker Mayfield had 8 passing touchdowns in the past, 4 games, I think it was. And Cousins had 2 game-winning drives in the fourth quarter. So not sure which guys we're going to see tonight. Cousins has been doing decent in the spotlight. He's known for having some prime time issues, put it like that. When it's showtime and lights are the brightest, he comes up short. But he's been doing pretty decent in the national late games and nighttime games. We'll see what it does happen tonight. But any closing thoughts, guys, before we break out of here? Any thoughts? Anything you're excited about? Having fun?
I enjoyed the show very much.
Yep. Enjoyed it as always, man. It was a fun show tonight.
All right, man. Me too, man. Me too. All right, Shane. You good, man?
I'm good. Falcons better run the ball.
I'll be texting you guys because I'm pretty sure that this probably not going to happen, but I hope it does. But I'll text
one
you guys.
shout out. I did want to shout out Herb and Raj. called exactly how this Bama game was going to go, so that the wide receiver is going to have a big game. And it was good to listen to them talk to some Bulldogs fans too on their podcast. The crossover.
Yep.
We
enjoyed it. Randy, we had 2 special episodes with Randy and crew. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we got some seriously knowledgeable guys out here. Randy is one of them, loves Georgia, man. I meant to tell him, man. I did tell him a good friend of mine is the assistant strength coach in Georgia. So I can't talk to him when the games are going on because he's like probably not trying to talk to me. But yeah, he's
Jabari. What's up, Jabari? Good to hear from you, man.
What's up, brother? All right, well, let's have fun, man. Enjoy TNF. We'll talk soon. Take you guys offline. We out.